Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm really excited because I'm going to be making something that I've never made before called an apple galette. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So basically, apples were on sale at the supermarket and I bought 2 bags. And I do love to eat apples just like as a snack. But I also bought clementines and I've been eating those like at work and whatever. So I still have a lot of apples, which I do plan on eating, but I figured let me take some and make something with a few of them, just because I don't want them like all to go bad. So to my understanding, Joey was the one who told me about this dessert. I don't know that I've heard of it. I've definitely like never made it in school or anything or on my own. But to my understanding, it's basically like, it kind of looks like a deconstructed pie where it has like the pie crust on the bottom, the pie dough, but there's no pie dough on top. So you just see the apples. But it looks really good. It looks super simple to make. Apple pie is already very easy to make, and honestly, it's one of my favorite desserts. But like, I don't know, just the thought of making like a whole pie sounds like a lot right now. And this isn't far off from a whole pie, but it doesn't have the pie crust, and usually when I make pie crust, like pie dough, I end up having to like double whatever recipe I use because like one of the recipes is only enough for like the bottom part, so then I'll have to make like another pie dough for the top and like roll it out and do like the lattice crust that I love to do. So this seems pretty simple. You just make the dough, roll it out, put the apple slices on top that you just like mix in a bowl with some other ingredients, which I will be showing you guys obviously, and put them on the dough, fold the dough over like around the edges, and then bake it. So it sounds fairly simple. Hopefully it is fairly simple. We're about to find out right now and make this apple galette. So I'm kind of looking at this recipe, and this is not how I've made pie dough. I've definitely never used sugar or apple cider vinegar. Literally all I've used when I made pie dough is butter, flour, and the ice water. So I might just like follow the recipe and then just cut out the sugar and apple cider vinegar. Also, I don't think the recipe I used had salt. No, actually it did, but it wasn't kosher salt, it was just regular salt. So I'll put in the salt, but I'm cutting out the apple cider vinegar and granulated sugar. It's honestly not that much of either. It's a tablespoon of granulated sugar and half a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I don't know, maybe that makes the recipe a little more sweet, and I guess since it's like an apple galette, maybe the apple cider vinegar just adds to the apple flavor. But I'm just gonna make a basic pie dough crust. Okay, so I have my 1.5 cups of flour in here and my 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I just used regular salt, not kosher salt, so I mean, that's what I've used in the past, so pretty sure it'll be fine. Then I've got my butter right out the fridge. I sliced it up into cubes, and we are going to slowly start adding in the cubed butter. Now they said to have the butter and flour in the freezer for 30 minutes before you make this, because you want them both super cold. I've never heard of that, and I didn't put the flour in the freezer, but the butter did come straight out of the fridge, and it's still like really hard. So I mean, that's what I've always done, so hopefully it's fine. So you just kind of want to slowly start adding in the butter, and I will show you what it looks like when it's all okay. So here's how it looks once the butter has all been added and it has mixed for a couple minutes. This is pretty much how you want it to look. coarse crumbles, which is the butter. So now I've taken some cold water and some ice, put it in a bowl, ice water. It says it's 4 tablespoons, but you pretty much, you know, there have been times where I've only added 4. There's been other times where I've ended up adding like 6 to 7. It all depends. But you definitely want to keep a close eye on it. Don't add it too fast, because then your dough is just going to become really watery, and you don't want that. You want it to like be firm, but not super sticky or wet. So we're going to turn our mixer on low, and a tablespoon at a time, just add our ice water. It does come together really quickly. Like, I can already tell it's starting to come together a little bit, but a little water goes a long way. So now we're putting in our 3rd tablespoon. Now our 4th tablespoon. I'm gonna give it a minute, because you want it to like form like into like a ball of dough, which it's not quite doing, so I am gonna add a 5th tablespoon. But like I said, you don't want it to be like really wet. So I'm keeping a close eye on it and giving it time for the water to work. As you can see, it's like really coming together now, and I think just using our hands we can get it to form into a ball. So I'm going to do 5 tablespoons. That's it. I'm not adding any more. So here's our ball of dough on our handy dandy mat with our matching roller pin. So I'm gonna roll this out, and then I'm going to prepare the apples and get this guy in the oven. Okay, so I just rinsed and dried my apples. It said 3, but I was like, the apples I got were small. Like, this was the biggest one in the bag. The rest of them were all like this size or even smaller. So I grabbed the 3 biggest ones. I had grabbed a 4th one because I was like, this doesn't seem like it's gonna be enough. But now that I've rolled out the crust, and also I'm really bad at like, because it said, I'm pretty sure it said it should be rolled out to an 1/8, yeah, thickness. And I'm really bad at that, so I literally grabbed my ruler and like measured it. So we're good on that. And I'm like, I think 3 apples will be enough. Because as you can see in the picture, like, this is how it looks. So like, I think that's gonna be fine. So we'll see. But I'm going to core these, slice them, put them in the bowl, and add the other ingredients, which are... Okay, so here are my apples all sliced up and generously coated with the filling. That consisted of 3 tablespoons packed brown sugar, juice of half a lemon, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a pinch of kosher salt. So it didn't say how thick to slice the apples, but I tried to do about like a 1/2 inch. I didn't want them too thin, but of course I didn't want them too thick. So I have them all sliced, and I'm going to line them up as it shows in the picture. Okay guys, so here it is, all set and ready to go in the oven. Oh my god, I felt so stupid because I had it on here, as you can see from the residual egg wash, but I had it on here and then I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot that I was supposed to put it here first, then put the apples on and like assemble, because it's going to be super hard once like the apples are in it to lift it. But thankfully I was able to with no issue, so thank God for that. So yeah, those are all the apples. It's in 3 rows just like it shows in the post. So it shows like 3 rows with like 1 going that way, then the other way, then the other way. So That's how I did it. Also, these are all the apples I had left over, so I'm definitely glad I didn't end up doing 4 apples. Then it called for something demerara sugar. I have no idea what that is. Sometimes, like, in the picture, it looks like this sugar, like if you can see on the crust, it looks like this sugar we used, and I'm blanking on what it's called. But it was like really like coarse, like thick sugar. But then I looked up what that is and it said brown sugar. So I don't know, but I did the egg wash around the crust, which is just an egg and some water. And then I sprinkled some just like regular granulated sugar. And as you can see, some brown sugar. So it says to bake for 40 to 45 minutes. Since I'm not 100% sure how this oven works, I'm going to do 30 and just add more time if I need to. Also, it said to use parchment paper, but I don't have parchment paper and I'm not running to the store to get it. So I just did tin foil and sprayed some cooking spray on it, so hopefully that works out. So let's pop this guy in the oven.